As you can see, I'm stood on the other side of the screen, and specifically because I wanted you to see this guy. When my finger, there we go. Gucci Gucci Goo. So it's literally taken me this long to get my camera repaired. Yes, I sent it off a month ago and I've literally just got it back yesterday. So it's time to make more videos. So yeah, returning to Ultimate Spider-Man, I think this is what we're going to do, guys. We are going to finish the reviews of Civil War 2. We are going to finish the reviews for Clone Conspiracy. And then after that, we're going to focus on Ultimate Spider-Man, and we are also going to focus on the Amazing Spider-Man comics. Oh, also, we will continue reviewing the Miles Morales comics because they are awesome. Basically, it's just getting really difficult to keep up with all the comics that are releasing weekly, especially because I'm in my final year of university, and I only have 2 months left. So all of my 3 years of university are coming down to like these last few months, so it's hard to keep up, and I really just want to get these Ultimate Spider-Man videos out to you. And instead of me having to review maybe a Web Warriors series, I could be reviewing like an Ultimate Spider-Man comic, so it'll just be so much easier to focus on Ultimate Spider-Man and the Amazing Spider-Man and the Spider-Man Miles Morales comics instead of focusing on all these other things. So yeah, that is what we're going to do. Obviously, after a bit, we will go back to reviewing all the other series, but for now, it's just easier for Ultimate Spider-Man, The Amazing Spider-Man, and Miles Morales, and that's it. So anyway, getting back into the Ultimate Spider-Man series, we had Ultimate Spider-Man issue 76, and in that issue, we saw Harry Osborn towards the end actually tell Peter Parker to kill him, which is really, really weird and really, really crazy, but it must be in a pretty bad place for that to happen. And it's one of those moments where if Spider-Man kills him, it's kind of like him helping out a friend, because obviously Harry wants to die, but also Spider-Man doesn't kill people, so there's kind of like that conflict between Peter Parker in his consciousness as to what to do. Not to mention, well, Harry Osborn hasn't really been the most sane person recently, so there's that also to take into account. Also, if you remember jogging our memories, we got Mary Jane being a little bit annoying in this saga as well, and right now she is not my favourite character because it's almost like she's just being thrown in there for the heck of it. You know, like the story would not change if Mary Jane just wasn't a part of it, like this would have happened anyway, so I just feel like Mary Jane is a little bit of a throwaway character right now. We've been waiting for this issue for a long time, especially, well, you guys have, I've just kind of been not doing it, but yeah, it's time to do it. It's time to review Ultimate Spider-Man issue 77. Let's get into it. What's that? You think we should review Ultimate Spider-Man issue 77 as well? The Hulk agrees. He speaks to me. I'm actually a psychopath. So it's so good to be back, and we are jumping into Ultimate Spider-Man issue 77 with Harry Osborn picking up from where the previous issue left off, with him begging Spider-Man to kill him. And something that strikes you just as you begin to read the issue is just kind of how devastated Harry Osborn looks, and kind of how serious the whole situation is between these two characters. So looking at this saga as a whole, and just taking a step back and looking at it from all of the issues that we've seen throughout this Harry Osborn saga, it looks like Peter Parker and Harry Osborn's relationship is truly tested within these issues. And judging from Spider-Man's reaction to Harry Osborn telling him to kill him, it looks like Spider-Man is willing to go to the ends of the earth, pun definitely intended, for his and Harry's friendship. And that is just simply awesome. When you can get that level of emotion out of a comic book like that, it's just so good. And now looking at the issue from an artistic standpoint, one of my favourite things about having the Green Goblin or the Hobgoblin in these Ultimate Spider-Man comics is the fact that all of the colours get amped up to the max, with oranges and reds becoming really vibrant. You've got all the fire and the flames going on, especially from when the police have fired their guns, and you can see like these flames coming out of their guns after they fired. It's really interesting to see. And really quickly, I would just like to point out that those 2 police officers are definitely dead. Like, Spider-Man didn't even attempt to save those guys. They have been obliterated. Very much like the Judgment Day in Terminator 2, when there's all the flames going off and burning all the humans away. That's pretty much what it looks like right there. But looking past that, one of the things that the Ultimate Spider-Man comics do quite well is introducing other characters by tying things together. And in this case, we introduce Nick Fury and the characters from the Triskelion base by having Harry Osborn, aka Hobgoblin, going after the Triskelion base himself. Now, 1 minute that wasn't actually a thing. 1 minute it was just Spider-Man and Harry Osborn fighting in the city, and the next thing Harry Osborn is directed towards the Triskelion, thus involving other characters such as Nick Fury, and the Hulkbuster squad. And it's a really interesting way to bring other characters such as Nick Fury into the comic without actually just randomly bringing him in. Not to mention that it also makes us aware that there is in fact a Hulkbuster team out there to take down the Hulk. So the fact that this team is being initiated and put into action for the Hobgoblin pretty much means that the Hobgoblin has no chance whatsoever, because he is no match compared to the Hulk. And if this team can take down the Hulk, then they are definitely going to be able to take down Hobgoblin. Now, I'm not sure about you guys, but as I'm reading this issue, I kind of feel like I can't exactly remember the guy's name, but the person that is poking around in Hobgoblin's head and telling him to do stuff, I kind of think that that guy is actually trying to get Harry killed by doing these things. Like, obviously Spider-Man wasn't going to kill him, so that guy actually sent Hobgoblin in the direction of someone that would definitely kill him. So that's just a bit of an observation that I made whilst reviewing this issue. Anyway, moving on throughout the issue, one of my favourite things is the sheer determination that Spider-Man is putting in to trying to take Hobgoblin down. Because if Spider-Man isn't able to do it, then the Hulkbuster team are going to have to put him down permanently, and that is something that scares Spider-Man, just because Harry Osborn is Spider-Man's friend, and obviously knows that he's just a kid, and obviously knows that he's not actually being Hobgoblin on purpose, he's just got something wrong with him, he's just ill, and you can seriously just feel how scared Spider-Man is through the pages of the comic. And I just remember reading the comic and thinking, this is one of those situations where Spider-Man is powerless to do anything, because Harry Osborn / Hobgoblin is too strong for Spider-Man to take down single-handedly, and so you very much feel like Spider-Man is absolutely powerless in this situation, because no matter what Spider-Man does to try and take Hobgoblin down, he just cannot do it. And in my opinion, that's what makes this page so important in this specific issue, because you can just see it in Spider-Man's actions on the pages that he's doing everything he can to protect Harry Osborn, because he knows what Nick Fury is going to do to him if Spider-Man can't stop him himself. And I think it's also because Spider-Man actually cannot believe that Nick Fury would actually take down someone as innocent as Harry Osborn. And I think it just makes Spider-Man realise that if Nick Fury is willing to do that to Harry Osborn, then does that mean that Nick Fury is willing to do it to Peter Parker as well? If Peter Parker ever went crazy like this, like, you can just see it being the true moment where Spider-Man and Nick Fury's relationship as characters becomes obliterated. And I think that question is more or less answered when Nick Fury says that he's getting ready to take Spider-Man's spider powers away. Like, that is not his decision to make, but obviously it's something that Spider-Man now has to worry about, so we'll have to see what happens with that in the future issues. But turning over the page, there is a character that we completely forgot about throughout this issue, and that is Mary Jane. For once, she didn't actually get super involved in this issue, and more or less stayed away from the danger that was going on. Well, we saw her at the beginning of the issue, but she wasn't in it that much. And so you can see Peter Parker doing what we've all been realizing for the last few issues, is that Mary Jane just doesn't listen to him in terms of this saga. She's just constantly getting herself into danger and having Spider-Man worry about her and having to save her, and she's just not listening, and therefore Spider-Man has to do what's necessary, which is more or less break up with her. And I think the most heart-wrenching moment in terms of relationships in this issue was when Mary Jane actually hugged Peter Parker thinking it was okay, and then he pushed her away and ran off. Because you could just see on Mary Jane's face that was when she realised that he was being serious. And that's quite sad. But as you can see at the bottom right of the page there, it does say next issue, subtitled Dumped. So we have something very interesting to look forward to in the next issue. Okay, so now that you guys have seen the Hulk, I'm going to slide back on over into the middle of the screen and we can get into this review. So, pretty much what just happened in the issue, we just saw Harry Osborn get obliterated by the Hulkbuster squad from the Triskelion base, and pretty much the whole trust between Nick Fury and Peter Parker has gone. It's completely broken, and the effects of that, well, you saw that Nick Fury did say that he's going to get rid of Peter Parker's spider powers. From Nick Fury's perspective, I don't think it's because, well, he got punched by Peter Parker. I think Nick Fury's a little bit too smart to be like wanting revenge like that. It's more over the fact that I think Nick Fury thinks that Peter Parker is too young to deal with all of this, like, crazy stuff that's going on. And to Nick Fury, if you're like an older adult, then you would most likely be able to cope with all this stuff. But because Peter Parker's younger, he doesn't think he's suitable for the situation. I'm not too sure whether that's exactly true, but that's something that I'm taking away from this issue. As for the end of the issue with Peter Parker and Mary Jane, you can see that Peter Parker is just sick to death of Mary Jane getting in situations that she doesn't really need to be in. I've already said it before in like the previous issue review. She's kind of like Lois Lane out of Batman v Superman. She's just kind of getting herself into situations for no reason. I think Peter Parker recognizes that, and that's when he's kind of like, look, you don't listen to me, and therefore I cannot trust you anymore, and therefore I'm not going to be with you anymore, bye bye. But yeah, you can see that Peter Parker is taking this situation very seriously, and as for something to do with Harry Osborn, Peter Parker has pretty much just had a great loss. Like, he doesn't know that Harry Osborn has survived. I don't think so anyway. I mean, he did swing off before Nick Fury did state that he was still breathing, so that just depends. So right now it seems like this is kind of a very fragile moment in Spider-Man's life. Not only has he broken up, or pretty much broken up with Mary Jane, he's also got Nick Fury saying that he's going to take away Spider-Man's spider powers, and so yeah, that is... I can't remember what happens, but I'm sure my memory will be jogged when I read the next issue. Let's just say that there is going to be an entrance from Kitty Pryde very soon in the Ultimate Spider-Man comics, and I'm sure some of you guys can't wait. As for this issue as a whole, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. There was so much action in the comic, and the interaction between Nick Fury and Peter Parker just kind of destroying that trust between the two characters. That's a very, very limited thing in the Ultimate Universe. The relationship between Nick Fury and Peter Parker is more of a personal one because Peter Parker is still a kid, so Nick Fury is trying to look after him, and there's that, like, you know, that sort of like limiting relationship going on there. It's really weird to... It's really difficult to explain, but you know what I mean. But anyway, that is it for this review, guys. Let me know what you thought in the comment section below, and hit the like button if you are glad to see this Ultimate Spider-Man series back, and we are going to kickstart it by getting the next issue review recorded as well. In the meantime though, you can follow me on Twitter, the links are in the description, and do this because you can get all the updates on these videos. Instead of asking me when the next Ultimate Spider-Man review is, you can just go to my Twitter and see for yourself. I do also upload some behind the scenes pictures and stuff like that on my Instagram, so you can follow me on Instagram as well. Mainly on my Instagram story I upload that stuff, but you know what I mean. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm so glad to be back recording these videos. I'm so glad that my camera is repaired. So yeah, I'll see you very shortly in the next video.